Good morning, good Monday morning to you. I'm Shane Satterfield from Sifted, and this is Good Morning Gaming for May 9th, 2022. And unfortunately, I have some unfortunate news for you today. This will be the last episode of Good Morning Gaming for the foreseeable future. The show is going on a hiatus. We started producing the show back in January, so the show's going on almost 5 months at this point. And when we started, our Patreon was okay, and I started the show hopefully to boost it up, to get us to a place where we could maybe have some money for marketing, to promote our Patreon and promote our content, and hopefully grow Sifted. But unfortunately, since January, the exact opposite has happened. In fact, our Patreon has fallen by over $700 per month since this show launched. So the more work that I've done, the less money we've made. The show was a huge commitment for me, 5 days a week, 4 hours a day, and because of the nature of the show, I'd have to wait until the end of each day to start putting the show together, start doing all the research, and start putting the script, or at least the outline for what I wanted to talk about together. That all told was about 4 or 5 hours per day after working a full work day. And so I was working, while I was working on the show, 14 hours a day, every day, 5 days, at least 5 days a week. And then also working a full day on Saturday and then half a day on Sunday. And obviously, I'm not being paid for this work. In fact, I've lost money doing all this work. And our Patreon's also fallen below the level that it needs to be at to do this extra show. So, Good Morning Gaming is going on hiatus. Pachter Factor and Game Face, our Patreon is still at the level to support both those shows, so those shows will continue as normal. In fact, you may get an extra episode of Pachter Factor per week now. That makes some of you people happy. You may trade in 5 episodes of Good Morning Gaming for an extra episode of Pachter Factor, but the truth is that I've reached the point where I'm not able to pay my rent and bills anymore with the money that is being generated by Sifted. So I need to find other work to survive. So the 4 or 5 hours I've been spending every night working on this show, I need to now dedicate to something else to be able to make money so that I can keep my head above water. It's expensive living here in LA, and I'm married, and I can't just be like, I'm leaving. My wife likes living here too, so I need to change what I'm doing to make sure I can pay my rent and my bills. So this is it for Good Morning Gaming. I appreciate everyone who's been listening to the show. I know some of you guys really like it. We've got a lot of good feedback on it, but without people sharing the show and stuff, it just wasn't able to grow. On YouTube, we've been giving it away day and date, and that hasn't done anything. And again, as I said, our Patreon has just plummeted since we launched this show. I'm not saying that because we launched the show, that's why our Patreon fell, but it doesn't matter. The bottom line is that we have lost a ton of money at our Patreon, and I can't do this anymore. It just doesn't make any fiscal sense whatsoever for me to continue doing this. I need to spend those hours each day doing something different that will actually generate some revenue for my household. So I really enjoyed doing the show. I'll say that much. I really like doing the show. It felt personal doing this show, even though I sit here and I'm in like our spare bedroom and basically talking to myself, which sometimes when I think about it seems a little weird. When I would record this show, I would always think of you. And when I say you, I have this imaginary person that I've invented in my mind that is like a mashup of all our patrons and all our subscribers at Sifted.net. And I always have that person's face in my head when I'm doing this show, as if I'm talking to that person. And I hope you felt that this show is a little more personal than a lot of the other content that we've been doing on Sifted to this point. But it didn't work, and like we've launched, 25, 30 shows at this point at Sifted, and it just seems like nothing ever matters. Nothing we do matters. Nothing ever moves the needle, and in this year, the needle has just gone down. So can't do the show anymore. I wish I could. if we do get to a place where our Patreon gets back up above that level and it makes sense from a financial perspective, then I would absolutely pick the show back up if that's something that you guys would be interested in. But we gave the show more than a fair shot. It's been 4.5, almost 5 months we've been doing the show now. And we gave it away on YouTube for free for months now, and that didn't do anything for us. So anyway, thanks again to you guys who listened to this show and who had lots of kind words about the show. It's not an easy show to create. Having 2 big takes per day on the games industry and making it interesting and making sure that they're not repeated and it's not redundant. It's not easy. It took a lot of work, and it took, in all honesty, a lot of skill. It took everything I have learned from the last 20 plus years of working as a journalist in this industry to pull this show off. I would be interested to see if someone else could do it that doesn't have the years of experience that I have, because it took everything I had to do it. But unfortunately, can't continue on like this, and so I have to make some changes, and this is one of them. So thanks again, everyone who supported the show. I do apologize if by any chance somebody did just recently join our Patreon because of this show. I hope you can understand, and I know you may be a newcomer to our Patreon. You may be like, wait a minute, like, I joined for this. Unfortunately, there just weren't enough of you. And I know you don't understand because you just joined our Patreon, but we were making a lot more money per month just 4 or 5 months ago. It's just been a crazy slide. I know a lot of people are nervous about the economy and things cost a lot more, and I don't begrudge people for dropping their pledges. I've always said it's your money and you have the right to do whatever you want with it, but that doesn't help me. I have to pay my bills and pay my rent, so you have to do what you have to do, and unfortunately I now have to do what I have to do. So much love to you guys. I appreciate everyone who's supporting us, and again, Game Face and Pachter Factor aren't going away, and in fact we're actually launching a brand new show tomorrow on Tuesday that I think you guys are going to like. It's a bigger project, actually the biggest project we've ever tackled on Sifted to this point. But it will be a show that's only once per month, if that puts things in perspective for you guys. So look forward to that on Tuesday. We'll be debuting that for our patrons and our subscribers. And thanks again to everyone who listened to Good Morning Gaming.